Hello Libra, welcome or welcome back. It's good to see you. This is your timeless collective reading, so it doesn't matter when you see this. If the message resonates, then it's for you. Also be sure to check out the description box where I will leave some journal prompts for you based on this reading. Okay, let's go into your pre-shuffled cards and we'll see where this message takes us. So I pulled one card for you from the Magical Botanical Oracle, and you got number 22, Rue, which is otherwise known as the Herb of Grace. Now, this plant is all about protection, and the guidebook talks about how it comes up in your life when you need protection, even if on the surface things seem to be going well. And I don't know how well you can really make this out, it's kind of fuzzy, but within the plant itself, there's actually various charms embedded in it. So there's a rooster head for fertility, a dagger for protection, a snake for transformation, a moon for magic, a key. I think this is a vervain flower. So there's just all kinds of magic, really intentional magic in this plant that all adds up to the sense of complete protection. Now, when I actually channel through this card, what I hear specifically is that grace is within you and all around you. Protection is yours if you choose it. And it feels almost like it's not so much that Spirit is saying you're about to be under attack, be afraid, be very afraid, you need all the protection. No, like, of course not. Spirit, true Spirit does not deliver messages like that. This is a reminder that protection is something that happens from the inside out. Protection is something that you can activate. It's like a frequency that you can activate within yourself when you remember and you trust that you have the power. You have the power to create the life that you want. You are divine. You are a creator. You are the source. You are love. When you remember who you really are in that way, the energy of divine protection, it arises from within you and out. So it's true protection is not this outside in thing. It's an inside out thing. Now, why would Spirit want you to remember that at this time? Well, I pulled several tarot cards to get some clarity on what you're going through here, and it's very interesting. So let's move into tarot now. You've got the Moon, Five of Wands, Two of Wands, the Tower, Queen of Swords, and last but not least, the Magician. Okay. There is an energy in your life that is holding the frequency of conflict and confusion. This could be, I'm going to get some clarity on it in just a minute. I'm going to pull some more cards, but this could be a completely internal experience, or it could also be reflecting to you externally, right? As a situation you find yourself in, whether it's internal, external, or both. There's an energy of conflict and confusion, uncertainty, unsuredness. There's this feeling within you like something's off. Something's off. It doesn't have to be a huge, horrible thing, but something is just off, and it's almost like maybe for a while you couldn't quite put your finger on it. You couldn't quite put your finger on it. And that confusion led to even more turmoil. But it's just pure conflict. It's the energy of not going in circles, but almost like you're trying to figure out a problem over and over and over again, but all you're doing is just bashing your head into a wall. I'm hearing there's no way out. There's no way out. And on some level, you know this. I think you have come to realize this. You have come to see clearly, see how he's looking. The way it's showing up to me is like that. So he is looking back at these two cards and he's saying, yeah, no. Like, this ain't doing it for me anymore. I need to consciously choose to make an exit. I need to make an exit. It's time for me to move on from this because there's no way out of this. It's like quicksand or a whirlpool. The harder you try to like make it better or make it work for you, the deeper you sink. It's just not meant for you, whatever this energy is. And so maybe this is where you're at right now, or maybe you've already moved through this energy, but at some point you woke up to that and you started to or are starting to make plans to shift your focus. Focus on something else. Okay? Because you've learned all you can from this. You've learned all you can from this. It's time to set your sights on new horizons, right? And creating a new reality. In order to do that, though, it's almost like the truth of the situation needs to be revealed through a Tower card moment. That's really what Tower card moments are all about. Yes, they can be very destructive and uncomfortable, but they're a blessing in disguise, because what is being destroyed is that which is inauthentic. What is being destroyed is the illusion of this moon card. All illusion is falling, and when that happens, or because of it, you just see clearly. I'm almost getting premonition energy. Maybe you are having premonitions, whether you realize it or not. It could be unconscious, but there's I don't know, it's like you seeing clearly, you having premonitions about what needs to go. You're seeing clearly the truth of a situation. You're telling me, I get it now. This needs to be razed to the ground. But on the other side of that massive clearing up of illusion, you emerge in magician energy, which is pure manifestation power. Your ability to create the life you want from a place of radical authenticity, a life that is true for you, a life that is freeing and fun and empowering, right? So I'm not entirely sure where you're at on this sort of storyline. It feels to me like most of you are in this Queen of Swords energy, and you are ready to let something die. You are ready to let something end, or you're currently doing that, and you're starting to make space for a new way of doing things, a new way of seeing and thinking, a new way of communicating even. And so throughout all of this process, wherever you're at on it, I think Spirit just wants you to remember that you are divinely protected, no matter how uncertain you may feel at times. No matter how unclear things may seem at times of your life, you are always divinely protected when you remember. You are always divinely protected when you remember your source. That's what I'm hearing. When you remember that you are already the magician. You just have to choose it, right? This is a very interesting message here. Okay, let's keep going a little bit with tarot. I'm using the Green Menagerie tarot for you. Okay, where do we want to go from here, Spirit? Okay, I'm hearing pull cards on what they need to let go of. Okay, so tell me more about what Libra needs to let go of. Tell me more about what Libra needs to let go of. The High Priestess. More moon energy here. Seven of Swords. Yes. Knight of Cups. It's interesting how the Seven of Swords and the Knight of Cups are facing in opposite directions. There's two different directions that you can go here, and you know which way to go. You intuitively, unconsciously maybe even, you know which way you're being called. The Seven of Swords is the energy of trickery and deception, sneakiness, trying to get away with something. The energy of trying to get away with something. And the Knight of Cups is the exact opposite. The Knight of Cups is absolute vulnerability, emotional openness and authenticity, leading with your heart. Leading with your heart. I mean, that is a level of vulnerability that is just, it's so powerful. And maybe that is why you need, oh. Okay. Thank you. There's a new path you're being called to. 1313 on the timer. There's a new path that you're being called to. And that path is one of radical authenticity and heart-centered openness. Openness, which is, if you're going to do what you're being called to do, if you're going to create what you're called to create, you have to be this vulnerable. You have to be this open. Wearing your heart on your sleeve and leading with your heart basically means you're presenting the world with your heart. And that means that it can get slashed, right? Or that's the perception. So what you're being called to, you perceive as incredibly vulnerable. Being that authentic is a kind of vulnerability. But to do anything else is to live in deception, to lie to yourself, not on purpose, but it's living a lie. To do anything less than living this authentically is a lie. It's keeping your truth hidden, even if it's just a little bit, right? And so in order to feel brave enough to be this Knight of Cups, in order to move in the direction your heart is really calling you to. Spirit wants you to know it's not as vulnerable as you think, or it's not vulnerable in the way you might be projecting. You might feel like to follow your heart is to put yourself on the chopping block, so to speak. Right? I mean, the example, of course, that's coming to me is me with this YouTube channel. This is me, you could say, living in Knight of Cups energy, me sharing my joy with the world, me just being myself. This is me just being me, doing what I love and putting myself out there. And yes, by virtue of the fact that I'm putting myself out there for the whole world to see, I'm going to get trolls, I'm going to get haters, I'm going to get people who just genuinely don't like me, people who don't resonate, people who project all kinds of fun stuff onto me, and they let me know about it, right? But I am so connected to the truth of myself. I am so connected to my source, my why, my truth, that I am protected, right? When I get a dumb, trollish comment now, I'm just kind of like, meh. A few years ago, something like that would have wrecked me, but now it's just like, meh, it's not so bad. Like, I'm still alive, nothing happened, it's fine. I feel protected. I know I'm not going to die, right? So there's this whole perspective shift, and I'm getting chills throughout my whole body. There's a perspective shift here that Spirit wants you to experience. Being radically authentic while, in a way, supremely vulnerable. Being radically authentic is actually the highest form of divine protection. So Spirit wants you to trust. Spirit wants you to trust that you can let go of what isn't working for you. Even if it's something as simple as an approach you have to something you're doing, a perspective you hold, or maybe it is an external situation like a job or a relationship or something. You're safe to let go, to start walking in a new direction, and to let all illusion and inauthenticity fall around you. You'll make it through that Tower card moment. You already have. And following your heart's calling kind of feels like jumping off of a cliff at first. You don't know where it's going to take you, but you know it's where you're called. And so you will find, after you jump off that cliff in the direction of your heart, that all of the forces in the universe are there to catch you. Beyond your wildest dreams, you are protected and provided for when you're brave enough to follow your heart. When you bet on yourself, the universe shows up in ways you never imagined. Okay, dang. Let's pull a journal prompt for you from my journal prompt deck. What journal prompt wants to come forward for the collective of Libra? What journal prompt wants to come forward for the collective of Libra at this time? And then, okay, there it is. Nope, that was too many. I thought it was just one. And then we'll pull a closing message from Into the Lonely Woods. Okay. One journal prompt for Libra, please. Journal prompt for the collective of Libra, please. Just saw 2020 on the timer. Ooh. Oh, interesting. Number 70. Who do you trust the most besides yourself? And why? Who do you trust the most besides yourself, and why? What a beautiful question. I did come up with it, didn't I? Interesting. So when you think about this and you pinpoint who it is that you trust the most, and you go into the specific qualities that make them so trustworthy to you, there's something in that, I feel, that's a reflection for you. Not only will it be an invitation for you to embody more of those qualities yourself, but also to see how you have those qualities. You already have some of those qualities, if not all of them. That makes you a trustworthy person too. Which then brings up the question, are you willing to trust yourself as you trust this person? Lots to think about in that. Very interesting. Trusting your heart, something about trusting your heart. Looking at this person, exploring what makes them trustworthy, opens you up to trusting your heart in some way. Let's go into a closing message from Into the Lonely Woods. 2222 on the timer. Final closing message for Libra, please, Spirit. Ooh. Number 42. What did we lose? So there's a girl with the monster creature, and they're looking down a well, asking, what did we lose? All right, I'm going to read you what the guidebook says, all right? And then we'll be done. Okay. Within this time of in-between, you grow curious about the parts of yourself you had forgotten about until now. Your magician part, maybe. These are the aspects of the sacred self that were cast aside, rejected, abandoned along the way. Now you need to look into the well. The well is the memory, the reservoir of the ancestors, the emotional world, which is where those parts of yourself and soul still live, patiently awaiting you to find them. Gaze down the well, conjure up the lost selves until they rise to rejoin you again. Give them space to share their wise stories with you, for nothing that belongs to you can ever be lost. Didn't I say that with the Tower card? It is only that for a time you forgot the blessings of all that you are. It is only for a time that you forgot you are divinely protected because you are divine. You are divine. You are the magician. And when you follow your heart, dang, everything will fall into place. And you will be more supported. You will wake up to just how supported you really are. Beautiful. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, Libra. I hope that this was helpful or at least thought-provoking. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. And be sure to check out those journal prompts in the description box. I will put this one there, as well as several others. All right, Libra, until next time, bye.